I just want to tell you a couple of Doc Watson stories. I was just with Doc last night in Franklin. He's, like I said, I don't think I said yet, but he's 87 now. Here's a picture of Doc. 87, still out there, willing to go out and travel and perform. And if you get a chance to see him, do, because I think he's our greatest American folk musician that's ever lived. And certainly, if you don't agree with that, you know he's right up there with Bill Monroe and Muddy Waters and Jimmy Rogers and all those great people. Doc is still playing, still doing great. And the great thing about being with him is being in the car with him when we're traveling. He just, Doc is a talker. You may not know it, but he's like a non-stop talker in the car. So he'll just tell you come up with these stories. And he was telling me that when he was, when he was 10, he went to the blind school. He was blind, so they sent him off to the blind school. And one summer he came home, and his dad had hurt his back. And he was working on the WPA, hurt his back so badly that he had to go to bed and couldn't even sleep on the bed. He had to sleep on a pallet on the floor. Now, in those days in Deep Gap, North Carolina, you made your living by growing your food. And he would go off and make a little cash money by working for the WPA, but you had to grow your own food. And so he wasn't going to be able to do anything that spring or that fall. And luckily the community kind of gathered around, and they were all poor too, and they helped the family through that fall and summer, and the winter came along. His dad was still in bed, and spring started to come, and his dad had heard about a faith healer that lived down in Lincolnton, North Carolina. And she wasn't a preacher, she was just a faith healer. And people had said she was doing some wonderful things. And so he said, let's see if we can borrow a pickup truck to take me down there, and we'll take you, Doc, and me, and see if we can be healed. And so they got a mattress in the back of the truck, and he and Doc rode in the back of the truck all the way down from, it was a long way, I'm sure probably 5 hours in the mountains, getting down to Lincoln, North Carolina. And they met this lady on the edge of a field. And she didn't have a church or anything. She just had what she called a prayer bush. And she went to the prayer bush, and she would pray in it and break off a bit of the bush. And she came to Doc first, and she said, son, do you think you can be healed? He said, I do. She said, you can be healed by prayer. Let's see if we can do it now. So close your eyes and kneel down. He kneeled down, and she touched him on the forehead with the prayer bush, and they prayed. She said, now open your eyes. And he opened his eyes, and he couldn't see. She said, well, I guess that's the way it's meant to be. You're meant to be blind. And Doc, for the rest of his life, sort of thought that he was in some way saved because he was blind, because so many of his friends were killed in World War II. He thought maybe that's why he was made to be blind. She went to his father. She said, you think you can be healed through prayer? He said, I do. She said, kneel down. He said, I can't kneel down. My back hurts too much. She said, these men can help you. So they kneeled him down, and they prayed, and she touched him with a prayer bush, and then on his back, she said, you can stand up now. And he stood up. He stood up, and he walked over to the truck. He hadn't been able to sit down for a year. He just had to lie down. He went and sat down in the truck. And he thanked the lady, and he drove back to Deep Gap, North Carolina. He said his dad got up the next morning, hitched up the plow, and plowed the field, and never had back trouble again for the rest of his life. Doc said, I witnessed a miracle. This chorus, sing it with me. I am a pilgrim and a stranger, traveling through this wearisome land. I got a home in that yonder city, good Lord, and it's not, oh Lord, it's not made by hand. I got a mother, a sister, and a brother who have gone to that sweet home. I am determined to go and meet them, good Lord, over on that other shore. I am a pilgrim and a stranger, traveling through this wearisome land. I got a home in that yonder city, good Lord, and it's not, oh Lord, it's not made by hand. I play it like that. down to the river of Jordan just to rest my weary soul. If I could touch but the hem of his garment, good Lord, I believe it would make me whole. I am a pilgrim and a stranger traveling through this wearisome land. I got a home in that yonder city, good Lord, and it's not, oh Lord, it's not made by hand.